before I go too much farther, but go ahead.
Just to add to that really briefly, yeah, I mean, we don't want to return to promiscuous lending like we had 5 years ago. Fannie and Freddie, notorious for privatizing gains, socializing losses, too many government hands in dictating what the home ownership rate should be in the United States, right? The long range home ownership rate had been 64% for 40, 50 years. It jumped up to 69.2%, and guess where it is now? It's right back down to about 65.5-ish. Okay, so a certain percentage of Americans should own homes, and the rest of them should not own homes, and that's just the way that it works. Back to the issue of should banks be a little looser in their lending guidelines? Yeah, I actually think that every decade, I call to my students, I call this the pendulum of ignorance in the banking system. So basically, out of 10 years, we have about 4.5 years of really tight lending standards. We have about 4.5 years of promiscuous lending standards, and somewhere in the middle we have, maybe 2 weeks, or just kidding, maybe like a year, 1 year where banks are actually judicious in their underwriting guidelines, and they're renting out to, they're loaning to the right borrowers, they're pricing the loans appropriately, they're evaluating recourse, all these issues. The primary issue that I see is the compensation of executives in the banking system. Okay, Dick Fuld, notorious, he walked away with $450 million after driving Lehman into the ground. I would have done it for 50, by the way, but but 50,000, I would have done it for 50,000. We had a helicopter too, didn't we? But no, the issue is short-term incentives. I used to be an investment banker. Okay, during my banking days, we only cared about hitting January and seeing what the bonus was going to be based on our production for the prior year. And that's the way it works on Wall Street. In Wall Street, the incentives have to be symmetrical on the upside and on the downside, and they have to be long-term in orientation. The problem is, we have the politicians who are basically owned by the bankers, and so until that resolves itself, we're not going to see responsibility in our banking system, and unfortunately, in our financial markets.
I think we have time for one more question. Quickly, over here.
I think the short-term answer in regards to the home being a retirement vehicle, it's going to be much time, maybe a decade or more before you can really count on that happening in the economy, depending on where you buy in regards to equity growth. Yes, there's a certain amount of the population that have lost a lot of their equity, if not all of their equity. Some of them gambled. We had a lot of them thinking it was time to buy the McMansion because the appreciation was so great. They saw Bud and Judy across the street make $100,000 in 24 months, and why not try it? And they got burnt. So a lot of these people are going to work a lot longer. They're going to stay in the economy longer, and that might be a good thing. Might be a very good thing to have them involved in our economy a little longer. For them, it's not so good. We're seeing today that a lot of seniors are going to stay in place, retire in place, and it's going to affect the type of products we're building out there. So there's a major shift, a paradigm shift that's happening in the consumer presently. Not only are some of these seniors going to stay in place, at the same time, Gen Y and Gen X are saying, Mom and Dad live with us. And so we're finding it's a greater acceptance in the Asian community and Hispanic community to go co-generational in a household. So it's affecting the types of homes we're building. Some of our builders are now studying dual kitchens, dual living areas in a single-family residential product. So you're going to see more cars parked out on the street in existing neighborhoods. You're going to say, why do they have so many cars at that house? And it's because the kids moved home, Mom and Dad are living there, and it's gone multi-generational because everybody's been hit real hard throughout the whole economy.
Great question. Well, unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for this panel, but I hope you all enjoyed it. I know I did. I'd like to, again, thank our panel sponsors, Bank of America and Vulcan Materials, as well as our track sponsor, Clear Channel Outdoor. Let's also give a round of applause to our panelists. Please also be sure to fill out the exit survey the VICA staff has provided and hand it to the staff in the room or turn it at the registration table at the foyer. Sure, no problem. The next panel starts at 11 a.m. So you know.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Good comments. Yeah.
Totally.
God, I had so many other questions. I wish I know. I was always worried, like, oh my gosh, I'm like, we never even got to.
I'm really interested in that because I wonder what this means for us.
Yeah. So, okay, great. Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you.
I love what your message is. Richard, good to see you. Good to see you, despite what you think about my education.
That's where I see it. Maybe it's just because I talk to you. Well, you're surprised. You know, I mean, it was just gets me. You're right. The RTC Could be a .99. I've never had a full person job. I don't want a guy offering me a job. He's making $15 a year. It ain't my job. I just my wife is Thanks again. I've done some stuff with assisted living and working in assisted living communities. Right.
They usually have those offices too to assist people, like, you know, so there's career placement offices and stuff, I'm sure, you know.
Well, ask that. I went to the log on to the services website. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Kurt. It was a pleasure. Great comments. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Next year, one day goes from 250 to 200. I called my partner and I said, that pain in your chest was a javelin. Yeah. You know, what am I doing? And our prices went to 200. And we had more orders that bought at 250. Shit, I wouldn't go to River Valley for years. It's for sure.
I'm also reading the back.
With the ideas.
I parallel with you in that respect.
seeing you again. You guys.
You made some great comments. I appreciate that, you know, we had an opportunity to meet. I spent a little bit of time on the website, the Metro.
We have a great blog too.
I looked at the blog with the housing, the part 1, part 2, part 3, the blogs that you guys did on that, and
Michelle,
really interesting.
did you get new water glasses for up here?
I'm reporting for duty.
Great.
There's my name.
Okay.
I'm doing my best. They don't always listen.
You don't have a lot of layers here.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is like you see, it's surprising response. What kind of name brand are you around?
Well, I'm from South Florida. I was at South Florida Sun Central before I came out here. Yeah, I mean, I've seen his byline. I didn't cover housing when I was down in South Florida, but I actually covered the ports and the cruise industry and all that. But yeah, so I knew Metro Study, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, I didn't even know you guys were here. And our real estate reporter, right? I should connect you to this. Andrew Corey is our new real estate reporter.
Oh, is he? Okay.
And he actually, you know, he'd be a great resource just for data and stuff for him. And Paul, you know, would be a great expert, you know, to you guys. So I'll definitely pass on your info. We're always looking for different people to pull comment or stories. So great. Well, thank you guys. Have a great rest of the day. Sure.
Yes, I am.
Hey, I'm Michelle. I'm kind of coordinating the room, getting you guys some clean water glasses.
Wonderful. Always good. Keeps coughing down.
Your moderator is Mr. Fuentes. I'll introduce you to him when he comes.
Excellent.
The morning session was awesome. So